consciously eating.
Another day, another replay. Finally, we're gonna cast some juicy replays and best of 3 series between Aicy and Yummyblabla this time from week 2. I think it's the most anticipated series of this week. We had already some people talking about it in the Discord, and yeah, I guess I have to mute the chat at some point, but we will see. Maybe we have the uncensored version on YouTube, and just hope we're gonna get not gonna get banned. As you already noticed, I guess in the chat, yeah, these guys know each other for quite a long time, and actually it's all fun and banter. Don't take it too serious. But they just have fun. I know that AC was out already on a few beers and just came home. He kind of forgot he had to play versus Yummyblabla. So we're gonna have a fun series. And I think it will just make for great content. That's why I brought today someone special with me. Actually, 2 special persons. It's one the Guinness, the one and only, and the Great Weird Red. So these guys will do most of the analysis and the talking today, I guess. I will only chip in when I have some new questions. But yeah, let's enjoy the games, and happy to have you guys. Just introduce yourself. Maybe we start with Weird Red.
All right. So I am the best. I'm going to put it out there. I'm the best Rax player in Little War Game right now, and the only Rax player because no one else wants to play Rax. And no one respects the 6 Rax. All right, that's my introduction.
My introduction would be that I totally respect the 6 Rax because I always die to it, at least against Weird Rat. But I wouldn't. I mean, yeah, Weird Rat. You're a Rax player, but you're also a hybrid because I think most players are hybrid, and I think I describe Weird Rat style more so as the Rax mech, which is a very effective style and the style that I actually don't know how to play against yet. But one thing I would like to point out for this game though is that Yummy's opening 1 Rax, which I'm very surprised by. I almost never see him certainly open Rax. Maybe a cheese. But yeah, they're both doing the same opening actually.
Yeah,
This chat spam is actually crazy.
Yeah.
And work and everything.
Yeah. I actually was surprised in the first game and how it started as well. I think the Raider War is pretty interesting between these guys because they are so good, and we already seen AC kind of doing a flash on the spot to get a hit in somehow. And actually Yummy is ahead now because he was able to get a hit and AC had to move back. I guess they were kind of distracted while spamming the chat. So yeah, not too surprising. But as I said, I mean, they don't really take it too serious here.
Funny, AC always seems to lose the Raider Wars. Obviously he has really good micro, but from most of the replays I see of him, he almost always comes out at the bottom, in Raider Wars. It never really, usually doesn't cost him the game, but Raider versus Raider is really just kind of rock, paper, scissors. I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to flash right on the Raider so they can land their first hit. It's really, very rarely do I see actually pay off. Just playing passive.
I actually think that Yummy missed his opportunity because while they were attacking the middle of the map, when he did manage to get that last hit, Yummy did have a double blink, and if he didn't move so far back down the ramp, I think he could have actually taken the final hit. But
what happened with that Raider?
All works out.
Yummy's Raider just lost it, trying to flash on AC's weak Raider.
Oh no, not like this.
Little heads on just cool.
I don't like this build from AC. Going multiple Raiders, 2+ Raiders against Rax is really sketchy unless you're planning to do a workshop transition. And let's see if he just does decide to do that.
What would you have done, Weird Rat, because he scouted the Yummy's Raider before his second Raider finished? He should have let it finish, should he, or should he have just cancelled it? AC, that is. And Yummy,
going into the third Raider?
Cancel the second Raider. Is it ever worth on a map this size?
Raider.
Yeah, or is it not worth it?
I mean, if you're already continuing with the second raider, I don't believe you can cancel. I think two raiders is still viable against Rax.
Do you ever sometimes just make one raider and then immediately start making archers? Rax,
There's been a couple
you know,
times I do that, but generally I've been doing two raider.
I think
There's
Yummy,
a couple times where it's good. Yeah.
Aicy went for 5 raiders in Rax versus Rax. And he's still making raiders, actually. Honestly, he's getting good
It's
damage.
crazy. Yeah, it's actually crazy.
It's actually worked out for him.
This is the reason why you don't go super fast third base as Rax. Unless you have your workers, a couple workers to help with the defense. But in this case, that wasn't the situation. And he just got punished for that severely.
It's interesting. I always thought in Rax versus Rax, one Rax opening against one Rax, you do want to rush a third. But you say that actually, no, we shouldn't do that. I didn't know that. Actually.
No.
I feel like Square Root does that a lot, though. And I feel like he makes it work. Like one Rax and then he rushes a third.
Yeah, with Square Root, let's see, in his Rax versus, well, that's mainly because, what is it? Are you talking about his rush into 4 barracks after third base build, or into a workshop? It depends on what he's trying to go for.
Yeah, I suppose it does depend on the follow-up. I'm not sure what his follow-up usually is, but I see him do quick third a lot, like off of one Rax.
Yeah.
I thought it was actually quite common to do that in Rax versus Rax.
No, Square Root's just very confident in his micro, but also Square Root. It's very map dependent. Thieves Isle, I would say, isn't the best option unless you somehow are able to secure that top ramp, which Yummy was not able to do. So
the top ramp above, in front of his third, yeah.
Yeah.
What he was trying to do, though, wasn't it, when he started building in the city there?
Yeah, but he should have had like a couple workers there or something like that. Because it definitely got destroyed.
Yummy, yeah, it's interesting. Yummy didn't scout the den, but I feel like he suspects Aicy transitioning to Beast. That's why he's doing this sort of wall off. Because I don't actually think you want this wall off if you're playing against someone who's following up with a lot of archers. I don't think this wall off is actually very good, is it? I feel like
I think
he's transitioning.
Yeah, I do think that Yummy expects a different transition because what is it? It's only raiders. Like when you go 5+ raiders, usually the Rax player is not going to play full on Rax after that. It's very rare you'd find a scenario where that would happen. Usually it's transition into mech, I would say.
So that was the giveaway then, Aicy making multiple raiders?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of Rax players do go for a lot of raiders and then follow up, get their archers later.
Against Beast, you would do something like that. In Rax versus Rax, it's kind of uncommon.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because
I forgot I was a Beast player.
How much the Archer... Yeah, the Archer snowball is kind of crazy.
Oh, and these archers are kind of exposed. I think if Aicy flashes behind, he did it a bit late, didn't he? He could have perhaps blocked the archers from escaping. Yeah, I don't think Yummy's dead though.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad blink.
I feel like I'm a bit ahead all the time. I'm at 7:55.
It's okay, I'm at 8.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the mech transition, Weird Red pointed out that you kind of expect the mech transition after so many raiders in the beginning as the reason for Yummy's advanced workshop. I mean, he will be able to use it anyways for dropping soldiers or something, but I think it's a kind of mind game from Aicy, opening with so many raiders, only adding some archers, and then kind of getting a beast transition in, and now having a mix of soldiers, like everything except mech units. So I think it's very hard to control an army, but also it's kind of unexpected. And I think Yummy's response seems to be soldier drops and an upgrade for archers. So he will have an archer ball, I think, and he will try to just move over. But Aicy is just having a 4th base already. So being ahead economically so much is, I think, the right thing. And also we see the Dragon Lair coming for Aicy. I mean, The bird was scouted from Yummy, but I think it's already kind of too late because the 4th base is running for so long for Aicy. Yeah, I think Aicy is ahead right now, pretty much.
I think that I don't really like Yummy's build at all. This screen, if I ever scouted, like let's just had a bird and I was able to scout the setup, I would assume this is a three base all in, and it still looks like it might still be a 3 base all in because
like this is
it's
very-
having a whole bunch of priests.
Yeah, I feel like we're seeing two players of similar skill, but from 2 different eras almost. I feel like Yummy's from like the
Yeah, that's true.
2020 era, where this style seems perfect for that era, you know? Like,
Yeah.
just stay on one
More like a
track,
norm
on-
style.
Yeah. But this was also like very common, like at least from when I joined up until like 2020. And Aicy's is clearly like a much more modern, you know, cross racing. He's getting catapults as well, and then he's getting single layer. I feel like this is just 2 different eras, and I mean, not to say that the way Yummy's playing is bad, because it makes total sense, but I feel like it's changed now, and I feel like the way Aicy's playing it is better. He's expanding quicker, and he's giving himself multiple options, you know, with the different tech paths he makes.
Is there any reason for the priest edition from Yummy? It's I think for me on being on 3 base, like 1 base down, and getting a priest and getting the church, and now I mean he still has to get the upgrade. That's a very expensive kind of addition to a lot of archers, and I'm not too sure if I'm convinced that the healing wards will be of much help and make anything, I don't know, make Yummy able to fight Aicy. So what do you think? Is the priest idea working for Yummy? Does it look better now with the priest, or does that not really change anything?
Because he didn't rush invisibility, I don't really think it does much. I mean, honestly, no one loves priests more than me, but I feel like priests don't pose as much of a threat as mages, as an example. So I feel like if your opponent scouts, you're getting mages, they have to respect a push of some kind. Whereas priest is more like, oh, be wary of invisibility, you know? But if you've got detection, you're not really scared of like a push with just priests. I feel like you don't have to respect priests as much as mages, for example. And again, this comes back to like being... I feel like nowadays you see mages more often than priests for that reason.
Yeah.
I'm not sure
I
if
will
Weird
say
would
one
agree
thing with that.
Yeah.
I would say that I think Yummy had a really good push coming into this, and I still think his army can do a lot of damage. I think what you're supposed to do against Priest is you're supposed to put catapults. Priests actually give your army enough durability in a straight-on fight, so without catapults, it's quite hard.
But I may have misread what you said. Do you say the priest player should get catapults?
No. The other player needs catapults.
Because that's what Aicy is doing.
Yeah, I think Yummy did a pretty good job against the catapults. He brought his airship to ferry over the soldiers, and he actually killed 1 catapult, but Aicy is super duper prepared and already has 3 more catapults, and I think now is the turning point for Yummy, and he really needs to leave this area here, and he cannot really hold the high ground, and I think that's mandatory for him to kind of be in a good spot, in a good position. And meanwhile we see Aicy getting another base up, so Aicy is not really in trouble, is not really phased, or I don't know, he's not respecting anything Yummy has right now because of his catapults. And
He's ahead.
Yeah.
I know its supplies can be deceiving, but I feel like Yummy's ahead. I feel like if he catches Aicy out of position, his catapults are slow. I feel like Yummy can just kill him, can't he?
I actually think the priests were a pretty good idea on Thieves' Isle specifically. The reason why I say that is one of the big problems with priests is that it's only good in a Rax ball, which means your army, you're either going across to kill your opponent and losing your bases to backstabs, or just staying home playing defensively. But with this type of map, there's only one path that Yummy can take, and Aicy's forced to defend. So I actually don't mind the priest at all, thinking about it now.
So you also think that Yummy is at least equal, not really behind?
Well, I feel like he's actually ahead.
Okay.
I feel like he's going to push in, and Aicy's going to have a hard time responding with the catapults. Because his catapults are so slow and they're out of position.
What, Aicy is trolling? Like he's intentionally making it look like Yummy is winning? Okay,
I
interesting.
feel like
He's
he's struggling with
trying
eating
too.
and losing.
He's trying too hard.
All right.
Like he tried too hard to use different units. You can also see his SimCity on his third base forces catapults to go all the way around.
Yeah, and he also has werewolves who also have to go around now. Yeah.
I don't think there was
I feel like
Aicy
this is
did
Aicy
much
trying too
preparation
hard.
with
I feel like
this.
I feel like he's just doing what he believes is good these days. You know, the meta. I mean, the fact that obviously the wall SimCity didn't help. But the fact that his units have to go all the way around and they're kind of exposed now around this bend. But I don't feel like he wasn't taking it seriously or trying too hard for that matter. I feel like he did what he
Yeah.
The two werewolves did literally no damage, like 0 damage. The first one walked in and was just dying, walking in, because Yummy just kited it, and the second one is leaving now with almost 10 HP. So you think?
I guess what I meant with that, when I meant trolling, I meant like, you can see by what Aicy's doing. What I mean is he's trying to do so much to the point of inefficiency.
Too much of everything, right?
Too much. He tried to mix in everything and try to make it look good.
I will say the
he's
thing that
doing
he-
so inefficiently.
Yeah, I will say the style that he's doing, I've seen it before him do it, where he goes for like one of everything. So he started with one workshop, one werewolf, then one layer. I think that style is good as an opening. I feel like towards the end you kind of want to like commit fully to one. So whether it's workshops, werewolves, or dragons, you want to commit fully to one and not just keep it mixed. That's
Yeah,
my
I think-
opinion anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Aicy is doing just now exactly that, what you were pointing out with all the catapults, right? That's the
yeah, but
strategy
although-
set it on.
Yeah, although I think attacks in general are better than catapults. And maybe not against archers, but I feel like just mass catapult, I don't think is very good. But there are so many counters to it. Just mass catapult, which is basically what he's doing. He's got a handful of werewolves mixed in, and he's now making a few gaps. His army is mostly just catapults, 17 catapults, so he's stuck. And the armor is 17 catapults. I feel like he should get more airships if he was going to do this style, because they're still immobile catapults, and catapult drops are just very good in general. Yeah, I do think. Yeah, I actually do think he's turned this around now. I was worried for a while. I did actually think he could lose Aicy, but I guess this style. I think it comes down to just the fact that Yummy style is old school and a bit out of date. You know, it's not taking away from his skill as a player. I just think.
I think Yummy threw, and he made the biggest mistake that most Rax players do, and it's when you think you're ahead, and when you are ahead, you just start throwing troops. Like you notice, he tried to attack Yummy's Aicy's fourth base, and tried to attack his top base with soldiers everywhere, right? And like that's a huge mistake, especially with like just even a few catapults in a tower, like easily wards off a couple soldiers like that, and you can see it like that just happen. Now he's like 30 supply down, so I think he kind of threw there.
So you think
But
he
like,
was actually he would have been actually able to win this one if he would have not walk into the main base with all the archers, maybe with the archer ball stay at the natural. Okay, now he taps out. Interesting.
Honestly, that's actually a good point you made consciously. I think after he killed, well, actually, I don't know now because AC was coming from the other end since he walled himself a big unit. Maybe he, after killing the natural, he should have actually just retreated. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I actually don't think the archers running into the main was that bad for him. I just think, as Weirdrat said, he kept trying to attack other ends.
I think actually the right move that Yummy should have done is he should have cleared the natural and moved backwards. If you look backwards, there was only one werewolf and like 4 catapults. So he could have moved back, cleared it, and maybe lost a few archers, then go into a couple soldiers, raiders, and some airships, and then play from that position. In fact, he could have actually gone to the top base and killed it after that. So I think that would have been the extremely right move.
Okay, but the point where he gives the GG is the right point to give the GG. It was really over, you think?
Yeah, it was
All
over.
right, all right, okay.
I mean, I personally, when I used to play, well, back in the day when people used to stay on one faction, which is not what it wasn't what AC was doing, but it was what Yummy was doing. I feel like getting to drops as racks is the way to kill mech, more so than just pushing. Maybe
Yeah.
after he threatened to kill, Aicy's natural, he had retreated and just sent more drops, like soldier drops especially. I think that may have worked, but like only like one soldier drop in one area. I feel like if you're gonna push, you can't really have racks split push against mech.
Yeah.
It's so easily defendable with like Sim City and catapults. I feel like you have to overcommit on one end to destroy one side.
Here we go, second game. Chat is already exploding. Glabber is doing all the work. All right, guys.
He's doing that to distract AC.
Yeah, of course. That's his way to encourage Yummy and being a fanboy of Yummy. No, actually, I mean these guys know each other very well, and they like each other very much. As you can see, I was a spectator in this game. I think I didn't see the first one. I think I missed it, and the second game I joined, and now they kind of banter on me. But we already see something unfamiliar, at least for me, because I'm absolutely stranger to cheese. I never seen any cheese, and I never played anything. So yeah, what do we think of these two workers moving out, and the one starting to build a den, and the other one still walking across the map, guys? What is Yummy cooking?
A two then. But he could surprise us with something else. Be a proxy racks as well. I don't know. Or a proxy workshop maybe. But I would suspect it's a two then.
Wait a second. Did Yummy play a different game? Is this actually game 3?
No, that's game 2. It's Arcadia. Game 2.
Because okay. Yummy was saying something about getting 1 point.
Yeah, he already will get 1 point. I think he knows that he gets 1 point.
It is a proxy workshop as well. So yeah, this is a.
Oh, that's interesting.
I know you. Yeah, I call this the Glava build because he introduced it to me when he knocked me out of your tournament. Your volume, whatever it was called. So I call it the Glava build, and it seems like this is very mirrored, very similar to what Glava did against me. It was on Arcadia as well. But that's the irony. If this works, then it just shows that this build is broken on this map.
Well,
interesting.
So what's the idea? What do you think is the idea behind this build? Or maybe Dennis can give us some intel and some understanding from his point of view, because you were already on the losing end. So what do you think is the main point of this?
He just gets gats. I don't know if he wants to reveal the first one right away, but he just gets gats and he hopes to basically kill the racks. That's the idea. And probably even just if it was there was castle, they would just kill him outright, But this is very committed. This is a one base all in. I still have chat on. I can see Glava saying the great. The house is on time, So,
yeah.
Mute that for now, just because it's distracting. But yeah, basically Glava also killed Slammer with this in the same tournament, I believe. Your tournament, I think it's the Volume Cup, whatever you call it. Yeah. So this is actually a very good build, honestly. It killed me when I went, I think, fast expand. It killed Slammer when I think Slammer went 1 racks. And Aicy's going 1 racks as well. He's banking the gats. He's going to show maybe at 2 or 3. And of course, Aicy thinks this is basically a 1 den from the number of wolves he's seeing. He doesn't think this is a threat, He thinks 1 den expand, okay. Maybe the destroy core build,
Okay, now he's moving in. So let's see how this works. There's 1 wolf, pretty much like 1 hit from the radar will kill it, and 2 Gatling guns. Is that something very scary for a Rex player? I think versus Gatling guns you can just get archers and then be fine, or not?
Let's see. The reason why this build seems pretty good is because one of the big problems with wolves against raiders, well, usually the usual response against raiders for beast players is to get snakes, ranged units. But if you do this, you already have Gatling guns, which you can ward away the raiders really easily.
What do you think of this tower, by the way? I think he could have just placed it in vision, but or maybe even just slightly out of vision, but he still could have been in range to hit the house and the barracks.
I think he just put it inside in range.
Yeah. Well, this is what I think Blabber did to me as well. He built the tower well out of range. Then he starts the second one, and then by the time I see the second one, I can't really kill him or stop this attack because there's a tower there. So I actually think it's worth it, honestly, with this build. I think it may actually be worth. I haven't tried it myself, so I don't know what's the best response. But it seems like he's got him, honestly, because the raiders are so low and they can't defend. On top of these towers coming up, the castle will fall as well in the future. I actually think.
Do you like the response from Aicy? You think he can maybe hold this somehow?
I don't think he needed the second Rax, but I don't think he knew what it was until very late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Aicy's build was bad in the first place. I don't think you're supposed to get the second Rax that fast. At second Rax, usually you're supposed to go the second Rax after your workers get into start mining the natural, but he did it before the natural finished.
And this tower is not going to really. I mean, this tower that he's making, I don't even think it's good.
Even if it's up, it's not gonna do a lot of damage or
I mean, if
be
you
a lot
target-
of problems.
Well, I think he should have started targeting the gaps. He actually survives the tower, but I think he should have been targeting the gaps. And he could have kept his raiders alive and tried flash on them, when they're low health. But it's a lot of things to ask. It's not even necessarily like there's too much micro involved. Rather, if you don't know, if you encounter a build, especially I feel in a little war game, which you're not used to, it's very hard to know what the best response would be. Especially if it's like a very particular type of cheese like this. I feel like a lot of times you may do what you think is standard. It turns out it's not the right thing to do. Whether it's pulling workers to take out the tower. I've lost so many times to cheeses where I thought this was the standard response, and then it just doesn't work. It turns out. Now that Yummy has catapults, you will not going to work a pull anyway, and towers. I think you've already won it now, even though it's one base against one base. Aicy's just lost so much.
Yeah. And also the two catapults
I
are
agree
very
with
problematic.
I agree with the response they were talking about. I think what Aicy should have done was, abandon it, get the tower up, and the raiders. I don't.
Keep them alive.
Gone across the map. Yeah, I actually think the response might have been go across the map. You see the tower going up, go across the map.
Maybe. But he lost 5 raiders, which is just too much. Too many to lose. If he had kept even half of that alive, if he had like 3 raiders now, imagine if he just chose to flash on the catapults and he could probably kill them. Flash them from the high ground.
Also, there
was a cute move he did earlier. I don't
know
if you saw it. There was a cute move he did earlier where he had the worker in that little pocket, on the high ground. He put the worker there to give vision for his catapult. He was trying to Q-fire the 2 catapults that were together. And it was a cute move, but it didn't work out in the end. It was just too far behind.
And it's over. That's a quick one. That was some very, very nice cheese. I really like this one. So let's fire up the next game, I would say. Any analysis on this game? Anything you think would have been very different if Aicy would have done? I mean, except for keeping the raiders alive, but except for this, you think there was anything else Aicy should have maybe not done like he did?
Well, I think it was just partly an unlucky build of getting that faster second Rax, because if you ended up not building that, you could get the tower much faster.
What do you think your response would be, Weirdrat, because you often do 1 Rax, don't you? If you came across this build, what do you think is the best response?
So what I would do hypothetically would be, so my second Rax would definitely be later, but I don't think I would be building it when the tower or when the gats hit. I think I'm going to go for the tower instantly. I would also go for the workshop. And I think it's completely fine because I'll be on 12 workers to his 8. So if I'm able to hold, I could also I have 2 options I can do with my raiders. Either camp his workshop or go across and kill all of his workers. And then suddenly, now I can just double tower if I wanted. As long as I hold my position, I'm fine.
I find it interesting that you said you were going to build a tower and basically defend the low ground, because I actually thought...
No, high ground.
Oh, high ground, okay. So the tower's on the high ground, because I thought you can't probably defend the low ground, the natural, with this build.
I would have thought... It's got to be high ground.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you need the tower to prevent him from running in and killing you. I would have thought workshop, advanced workshop, then basically defend with catapults initially, and then do a cata drop on the other end. And maybe if it's too committed, do like a single cata drop, just to delay his mining. That's what I would have thought anyway, but I haven't played against this build enough to really know.
No. I think that would be the next step. I would agree with that.
You wouldn't get the advanced workshop so quickly, would you? Because I'd probably get it as soon as right after I got the workshop.
My main concern would be staying alive first.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well, if we take a look at the total mined gold, it's not very accurate because AC had to pull his workers at some point, and I think in fact pulled all workers. But in general, AC mined way more, like 400 gold more.
Yep.
So I think the point Weird Red made makes sense in a sense that you kind of rely on your superior mining, and you just defend on it. Like you use that to defend. So you invest into a workshop and stuff. But you would definitely just let your natural die and just give up the castle and maybe the Rex even with the house. But you defend the high ground somehow with the workshop and the tower like AC did. But maybe you started earlier and you kind of skipped the second Rex, which was maybe just a build order loss in that case.
Because
But
I was actually
anyways,
wondering. Yeah, because Weird Rat sounds so confident that just give up the natural, fine. And I do think you have to give the natural against this build mostly. I'm wondering because you said he mined about 400 more gold. AC did. That if you looked at the units lost at one point when the game was still going, he had lost over 1,000 more.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, he
up
lost
for
all the
you.
raiders and stuff. Yeah. I think
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
I think
forgot. Yeah, he shouldn't have lost the Raiders basically.
yeah. He lost so many units there. And I think he even lost the. I think there was a Gatling gun from him and a catapult, so he lost all these units he built. I think that comes down to better micro and maybe better decision making, like Weirdwood pointed out. Just running around with your raiders and being annoying, like camping the workshop, for example, or just going over to harass the workers and stuff. But I'm not I'm not on your level, guys, so I cannot really comment on how feasible that is. I can
But we're
imagine
not
that.
on the same level either, you know. So if we say things differently, just ignore what I say and take what Weird Rat says.
Yeah, no, I'm
oh
just
goodness.
I'm just talking about the multitasking required to pull that off to defend against wolves and Gatling guns and catapults, and in the meantime be accurate with your radar micro and harassing workers or something. So I can imagine that as being very stressful and maybe not even to be able to pull that off. As I am very slow in that regard. But anyways, I think we should really move on to the next game. So now we have Ravaged and a very blue and red shed. Yeah, so let's see what Yummy has cooking now and doing this time. And this time I really mute the shed because it's too much shed. So yeah, it looks pretty much the same as on Arcadia, right? The house exactly the same location, and I guess we're gonna see 2 workers moving out pretty soon. Yeah, interesting.
I mean, really, it could be anything a house that early. But yeah, it probably would be the same thing. Tried and tested, you know.
Yeah,
Even,
well, when it works, works.
Unbeatable, even, you know. I've never seen this build lose.
When I played it against you, I lost with it. So, but actually,
It
we
was
have
the exact same build.
yeah. But
He's
now
got
he
two.
pulled 3 workers. Look at this, 3 workers. One is finishing the den now, and 2 workers going out, moving out on the map.
Interesting.
What's
The way
the
this is like a 3
what,
den, yeah. He doesn't have the money to afford that.
well? The Zealous 3 den, you think? Maybe. Let's see.
I
Actually,
think
he
he's
might.
gonna fake worker scout so that try to say like, oh, it's not a
Ah,
2 down.
fake worker scout. Yeah, that's the next level things, where you kind of give up on your economy, kind of, and you kind of worker scout. Interesting. So it's indeed a fake scout. So weird what to read.
See, I
Um,
love this game because he didn't work a scout before, and just sending the worker scout, I don't think AC would be predicting the same build.
no, he built the
He
house
might
there.
predict the cheese, but I don't think he would predict the exact same build. This is actually a brilliant mind game from Yummy.
What do you think about the house there?
Yummy's house? Well, I don't think it accomplishes anything really. But well, actually, I do. I think it further convinces AC that this is just a worker scout.
Ah,
Spending money like 100 gold in the time, you know, that he makes it on that. Oh, but he's going to show the second look, and that kind of reveals it, doesn't it? Actually,
I really like the house block because he forces
the
the
second one.
worker to
Oof.
stop building the rack.
yeah, I do like the house
I
block,
think
and he's
that's
doing
cool.
it again. Okay. Okay, now it makes more sense because I thought after he reveals this next healthy worker, that kind of gives the game away. But actually, I really like this. Aicy is like really. I actually don't know if you need to pull that many workers, honestly.
Well,
because
if you
of
want to
late
cancel the
timing.
house, you kind of need the damage rain.
Oh, Aicy, I would be getting the second racks and or maybe a workshop and then another house. I wouldn't be trying to save it for a castle.
Hmm.
I'd be amazed if he still tries to get a castle down. That would be wild to me. He just saw 2 workers on his side of the map. I will not expect him to put a castle.
Yeah, but you also.
He's going for a castle, man. Like this is crazy to me. AC going for a castle.
Hmm.
Yeah, it is a bit crazy.
I thought Yummy kind of gave game away when he had those 2 workers on his side of the map, but apparently not.
I think AC thinks it's a 2-den, proxy 2-den, and you could theoretically hold with the base, but not the way AC's playing. Like going across, you don't want to go around scouting like this.
Yeah, but it's kind of also
Yeah,
unfortunately.
you're right, actually.
Yeah, look at this. He's not finishing the castle. He's getting the second Rex now, as you pointed out and advised earlier or suggested.
And this is a mill follow-up from Yummy, so he's really switching it up. And I actually love this. I think the fact that AC, from his response in the first game, Yummy will not be expecting any anti-air early.
Yeah.
This is a brilliant, I don't know if this was his plan anyway, regardless of what AC's response would be, but this just fits perfectly for what, Yummy's trying to do.
Yeah.
I'll give him his credit, and I'll just say that actually this was all clearly well thought out,
Yeah.
and calculated.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant. Obviously, it's a brilliant mind game. Brilliant way to play out a series, I think.
Yeah.
Even though I thought he had it.
Yeah.
Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah. I can remember last ProLeague season. Yummy was actually just joining, as he already stated at the day of sign up, that he's just joining to beat AC. So I guess he's because last season he really didn't accomplish that. He kind of failed miserably with some poor cheese attempts, and AC kind of wiped his ass. And this time I think he is really onto something. And with Glaba as his team leader, they both had something cooking. So I guess the mill really is nasty now coming in.
I think they both threw in the span of 1 minute.
Where do you think AC threw? Because I don't actually think he was ever in a good enough position to win the game. Maybe not die, but I don't think he was ever ahead really. I think he still needed to defend.
Losing the 3 raiders like that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, he's lost so many raiders again. Yeah,
he was very committed from AC, right?
Gyro's just checkmate, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't like his mass raider response to this stuff. I personally would go archers and then hide behind a worker line.
Yeah, I mean the gyro now. I mean the gyro just kills all the workers in his main.
Really go archers against this?
Yeah, but at one point, like how many raiders you want to have until you can start doing archers?
Well, I would go probably 2 raiders, and then the rest archers.
All right.
It's because of how fast archers build. Like, it's kind of crazy how fast they do build.
Yeah, it's true,
Plus,
but they
you can use it for extra DPS.
I feel like
that's true, but that easily blocked because you want your workers to help, obviously, with the defense. So why would you also have soldiers, which would clunk up even more?
Well, it's true, but I was thinking maybe just to tank. Like, if you were going to tower on the low ground and to try and defend, maybe you could get away with that. I'm actually thinking, the reason I'm thinking of that is because that's what my response was to consciously when he did this build against me. But I think I went beast. Triple build, so it's a bit different actually. But then I did end up going for a Rex, I think, going soldiers. Actually, no, I'm mistaken. I did go 1 Rex, and then I ended up following with beast.
Yeah.
But anyway.
See, if you notice now that AC is finally going into archers, right? Now the Gatling guns aren't as effective. But he should have done that a long time ago.
Yeah. I mean, I thought this game was over at one point when the gyro came in. And I still think Yummy's ahead because of the worker difference. And then again, AC's mining from 2 bases, sort of at least, when he's able to. So it's actually the income's roughly the same. Actually, this is not game over again.
Well, the Ace.
Oh, Yummy lost the gyrocraft. That's terrible.
Yeah, but he also, like, Aicy also moving out with the archers and staying that much in front. Kind of inviting.
I think he's worried about proxy towers.
Ah,
That's why I think
yeah,
he's to make sure.
makes sense. And but there's another gyro, and it's annoying just to deal with it because at some point AC needs to build a tower at the main and also at the natural just to be able to deal with the gyros coming in. Or he just commits some archers who are dead supply kinda because they have to wait in the main. I think AC is really in trouble now.
Looking at the worker counts, Yummy has 8 workers and he lost 1. So he only ever made 9 workers.
Yeah.
And was able to pull it off in the end. Yeah.
That's
Honestly,
scary.
I really liked his fake worker scouts. And then I thought he kind of gave the game away when he showed the second worker. But AC still started his castle, so it actually ended up working out for Yummy.
You think if AC doesn't start the castle, he's good? Just putting that
Well,
down a second rack as Wade said?
as keeping it up as long as he did meant he couldn't really follow up with like a workshop, you know. I do think a workshop as opposed to a second rack is actually better. Even though I said he should get a second rack at first, I actually think he should have probably got the workshop first, try to get as many units as possible out of his first racks. Then after he loses it, maybe, because again, if he wasn't going to make the castle, he was probably going to have to give up the low ground. He'll probably eventually lose the racks, but then he can make the racks later on, or even just make a den, you know.
I see.
It's cheaper and units are cheaper, but yeah, I think that would have been a better response.
So Weird Red, you think the same? You agree on that with Guinness? You think workshop would be awesome to have, like as a following up for the Rex, and maybe skip the castle entirely?
I think yeah, because I mean it's the same thing as I said for the previous game where they did the same build, right?
Yeah.
You want to give up
Yeah,
the bottom and go workshop.
but there is a difference because Yummy didn't proxy tower this time, and he ended up showing up with the gyrocraft. So AC would have been
True.
sort of blind. He would have been blind, but he would have been countering that build because the fact that he had 2 mining bases, he had to split his archers because the gyros were coming into the main. You know, if he was on one base, the gyros would have been much less effective. And I actually think it could have worked
True.
out for him in the end. But that's of course totally unexpected. You know,
Yeah.
response to Yummy.
Yeah, but this time, I mean, it worked out for Yummy. Was kind of an upset. I think nobody really expected to go it in Yummy's way in this best of 3 series. And for me, officially, Team Glaba is now Team Cheese, because Glaba is cheesing a lot, especially or even versus guys who are supposedly a lot less strong or skilled as he is. Like versus guy in chat, he played this kind of wolf and Gatling stuff versus this guy as well. And now AC getting getting the same cheese twice. So I really look forward to the games from Yummy and Glaba the next time. Or
Honestly, if we see more players dying to Glaber's team when the players use this build,
Yeah.
the proxy workshop den, then that's just, you know,
Yeah,
it's just funny, that's all, because I feel like
Poor planning.
we all have a good grasp on what this team represents now, you know? Not
Yeah.
just cheese, a very particular type of cheese, you know?
Yeah, but
think
you
we
can
should lose.
change it up. I mean, you can follow up with you can do an additional tower. You can play gyrocraft. So I think there are some options to follow it
Honestly,
up,
it's-
and
yeah, honestly,
looking
it's a very
strong.
Oh,
good
my
team.
team is playing Glaba next.
Yeah. Honestly, it's a very good. Well, good luck to your team then. Honestly, it's a very good cheese. I don't actually know if you can actually just simply stop it from just simply reacting. It would probably depend more on what your opening was.
Well,
I don't even think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But actually, I do think if I want to just put it out there for anyone who wants to is worried about coming up against this build, I do think the Destroy Core build is probably the best build against this. You just get as soon as you find out what it is, you get a later workshop, okay, but you survive, and you're on a healthier work account, and you don't because you get your castle so much later. You actually don't have to feel like you have to get the expansion. I think the Destroy Core build.
You can actually, if you were playing the Den, I actually think the Happy. I said the Happy response, but I noticed that he's been doing a lot against cheeses like this. Is where you just apparently you can support 3 dens even with snakes on 12 workers.
Wild workers.
That's
And so-
insane.
Yeah. And so you can just bank up Wolf Snake and then push out, and he can't survive. I mean, he'd have to have like catapults and tower and a castle up in order to have a proper defense at the ready. But I think that is one legit response.
I thought that was common knowledge, though, at least a few years ago. I remember Slammer doing a video once.
It's not as used as much more.
Maybe it's used more, but I remember Slammer doing a video, not on the build, but he was speaking in a video, and he said how you can actually support on one base 3-den Snake.
Interesting.
He said that he thinks it's good.
Yeah.
I think it used to be used more in 2-den against 2-den, where both guys just neither backs down, you know, both just keep making units, and they decide, okay, we're not going to expand, we're going to get a 3rd Snake. That used to be very common once upon a time.
Yeah, very,
Actually
very
think-
stubborn.
Yeah. I actually think these days it would be better to just get a workshop, honestly. I think Gats are just better than Snakes.
Or
I mean, they're more expensive, but I think actually that may be worth. But I don't know. I don't know actually if you can support 2-den, one workshop on one base.
Yeah.
I know 3-den definitely. Yeah, 3-den.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. So I learned a lot today, and I think your expertise just
So
showed.
did I.
So yeah, I thank you guys for joining me today, and we, I think, have a concluded series now.